Welcome back to Sunshine Ladies and Raveling Tales. I'm Carrie, and today I am joined by Reed and Steph. Today we are so excited to talk to our next author, Lucy Smoke, aka Lucinda Dark. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
Of course. Let's start off with a few basics. For those who don't know you yet, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? And how did you get started in writing?
Yeah. So my name is Lucy Smoke, and I also write under Lucinda Dark. Lucy Smoke is for my dark romance books, and Lucinda Dark is for my fantasy works. I've been an indie author, for about 8 years, or it will be 8 years at the end of next month, and I am 30 years old. I love books. I love my fictional boyfriends, and maybe not so much the real ones, but the fictional ones for sure. And I love women that are, I love FMCs that are like feral but feminine, and morally gray men. So pretty much everything I write revolves around those two things, regardless of which pen name it's under.
That's awesome. We love it. We love it. All right. Is there anything that you would like to say to a new fan out there that might be just discovering your work?
Honestly, I mean, I don't know. Don't read me. No, I'm joking. Like, I am the worst marketer ever. Like, my most uncomfortable moment with a reader was like, she came up to me at a signing and was like, "Sell me your book," and I was like, No, thank you. Here's the book. You can read the blurb. Buy it if you want. Don't if you don't. Like I am like the worst marketer. But I will say, like, if you're new to me, if you're a Lucy virgin, I love virgins and I love popping those cherries. Oh, not
yes,
fictionally, only for readers. But I guess just like give it a go. I have literally something for everybody. When I first started, I started actually writing Why Choose Fantasy, and I only wrote it under Lucy Smoke, and I later like switched the two pen names and had the separate things. So I've got like dystopian, I've got like dark romance, I have stuff that's lighter because that's my older stuff. I still have readers that love that. I do a lot of suspense. I really do love like a found family. So like everything you read from me is going to have found family. The more stuff in the last 5 years, stuff that I've really like, focused on is like enemies to lovers and found family. So like, if you like stuff like that, if anything I've said sounds fun, give it a go. And follow me because I always give books away for free. I give away shit so many days, so many times, and it's like, honestly, I don't know how I make any money.
I'm into some dark romance themes, but maybe not like so dark, because I know you have a dark meter on your website, which is a really good starting point for anyone who's new to you. And I had you walk me through which ones were your lighter ones and which ones were your darker ones. And so I want to start with the lighter ones and maybe talk through some of those lighter ones, maybe the themes that you explore with those.
Absolutely. So I originally started, so my lighter series are going to be mostly Why Choose. I have a series called Iris Boys. It's finished. It's about 4.5 books. It's 5 books, but the final book is a novella. It's like an after story. But that series is fairly light. It's got suspense in it, but the romance is really light and fluffy. It's not like, enemies to lovers or anything like that. It's more like secret society. Not like Belle from Beauty and the Beast, but she is taken out of her normal world and put into a new one where she's required like to help them like catch thieves and things like that. So it's a little bit more, it's like got a lot of danger, but the romance itself is fairly light. And then I have a sports romance I call it my smut book. I just finished, I think, a sale on book 1, but it's called my Break series. And I literally call it my smut book. It is 99% sex, 1% trying to figure out how to get back to having sex. It's really funny, though, I've been told. Like, it's like, people are like, this is hilarious. I'm like, are they cracking jokes while having sex? Because I don't remember anything but the sex scenes. And apparently there is, like, a plot to it, but it's very minor. So those are my lighter ones. I do have a standalone called Wild Hearts. It's wide. It's not in Kindle Unlimited. But that's a Why Choose romance. I originally wrote it for an anthology that was for a charity, so it was for like an animal charity. So it's, a second chance, Why Choose romance. It's really short, it's really light and fluffy. And then I do have another standalone that's not as dark. It's called Expressionate, but it is very angsty, and it does have trigger warnings, mostly because it deals with a lot of mental illness stuff. But in terms of dark, like murder vibes and killing people and, SA and things like that, but it's not in that vein. And then for my fantasy stuff, I do have like a couple lighter series as well. I'd say my lightest fantasy series, because most of them do have some darkness. My lightest one, though, is probably going to be like Twisted Fae. It's like the main character is very quirky. She's not your normal main character in terms of, she's not like other girls. She stumbles quite literally into a castle that is full of Fae in the middle of a war, humans versus Fae. And she was an orphan. She some sort of magical something happens to her that kind of like pulls her towards this castle. And I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Howl's Moving Castle or read the book, but I love that movie. I love that book. And I really wanted something that was like a moving castle. So this castle just like appears out of nowhere because the Fey princes that run it and like live in it and rule it, they are warriors and they can use their magic to like pick up the castle and just transport it somewhere right outside of her orphanage. She stumbles inside. And it's got a lot of sex magic because in order to replenish their magic source, they have to get it on like Donkey Kong. And so yeah, it's really light and fluffy and funny because she's like one of those girls that's like, if you're gonna keep talking to me, I'm gonna panic and I might throat punch you. Like, don't. So it's not dark, not that one. Yeah, it's not like super Howl's Moving Castle. It's literally just the moving castle bit that we were like, man, I want to do something like that.
I feel like somehow it keeps coming up a lot on this pod.
I know, it really does. And I've also
if you haven't
seen it.
watched it, you got to.
Mm-hmm. What year was it published?
Oh god, a long time ago.
Yeah,
like 20-something years ago, if not longer. It's an older book, but the movie is an animated film done by Studio Ghibli, which is really, really popular because they've done, Kiki's Delivery Service. But Howl's Moving Castle is one of the biggest sellers I think they had in America. Christian Bale was the voice actor for the main character, the main male character, and he's got a great voice.
It would be fun to read it and then watch it. I love adaptations.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. All right, Lucy, you have quite the library back there. So tell us what are you currently reading and what's on your TBR coming up?
So I am actually currently doing some rereads. I am also doing a lot of audiobooks. I have a thing where if I've been editing and working a lot, when I read a book, I can't see the words because if I see the words, I go automatically into edit mode, into work mode, into, oh my god, I should be working. I'm not allowed to read. That's relaxing. So I have to do audiobooks now for a while. So I'm re-listening to Lindsay Sands' Arjanu series. I don't know if you've read it. It's like Vampires from Atlantis. Yep, it's really, really good. Set in the modern world, more like akin to like paranormal romance. It's really good. It's like a long series, like 30-something books. Each book is like a different like couple. So you can just pick one up randomly and read it whenever. You can read them completely separately. They're all really good. There is like for some of them there is like an overarching theme or an overarching plot that like goes throughout several books, but at the same time, like each book is focused on the romance too. So again, like you don't really have to read it in any sort of order, but I really like that series. It's an oldie, it's a classic, it's a goodie. Yep. Otherwise, I've been also listening to some Nalini Singh. I just finished her new book that came out. It's called Atonement Sky. It's her Psy Changeling Trinity series. I love her. I would die for her. I love her. I hope she knows that about me, but I love her so much. I've never met her, and I'm so sad. I love her. She does diverse characters so well. Yeah, like would die for
I'm gonna have to rewind this pod and take notes because these are some good recs. Okay, guys. So just a reminder that the podcast is rated R, and of course there may contain spoilers. So right now we're gonna play an FMK game. So it's Fuck, Marry, Kill Bookish Edition with Lucy's very own characters. Oh, you have the Sick Boys, you have the Iris Boys, the Gods of Hazel, any one that you can pull from. So who would you fuck? Who would you marry? Who would you kill?
Well, I would never kill any of my men because I don't think I'm physically strong enough to do any of that. Fair. But I would fuck all of them. No,
fair. Why choose?
Exactly. Like, why do you think I write why choose? I'm not choosing. I'm gonna fuck every single one of them. Fortunately, America doesn't believe in like polygamy or something like that for women. Like we can't marry. I don't think anybody can marry more than one person at a time. So I will have to choose someone to marry. That's a good question. Okay. I think if I were forced to marry someone, it would either be Dean Carter from the Sick Boys, because he's loaded and super hot. The downside, however, is that he is very possessive and he would not let me have multiple boyfriends. So that's a little bad. Yeah. Or probably Nolan from my Scorpion King series. He's not rich. He's not wealthy. He's got a big dick. He's got a big dick. You know it's big, it's thick, it's everything a girl could ever want, honestly. And he knows what to do with it.
And it's bigger than big.
It's big. He knows what to do with it. He also uses other parts of his anatomy well. So those are the ones I would marry for sure.
From steamy choices to strategic ones, let's talk brand building. You write under both Lucy Smoke and Lucinda Dark. What led you to separate your fantasy from your contemporary, and how do you think that helps your readers navigate your worlds?
Poor decisions and a lot of alcohol. So originally, I think I mentioned this earlier. Originally, I started out as just Lucy Smoke, and I didn't think in terms of, oh, what's a good pen name that people are going to remember. I just hate my legal name, my government name, if you will. I hate it, and I don't like anybody using it. And so I was like, I've always wanted to be Lucy. I like the name Lucinda. I've always liked the name Lucinda. And then my last name, my legal last name, is actually just, it is Smoke, but it's like translated into English.
Cool.
So the word from the language it's from is translated to English just means smoke. So I just went with, okay, that's my last name. So that's what I'm using. And it wasn't until later that I realized Lucy Smoke is a very easy name to remember. It's not hard to pronounce. It's not hard to spell. It's not hard to remember. And if it's easy to remember, people are going to be able to talk about you. I didn't think of that at that time. That's just a crazy happy
coincidence. Yeah.
But I will say it was about my second year publishing. I had published the Iris Boys series, I had published the Break series, and I had published my debut series, which was Nearest New Blood, as well as my Sky City series. Sky Cities was like dystopian, Nearest New Blood was fantasy, and then everything else was like contemporary. So I kind of like jumped around different genres, and I was kind of struggling because I was like, I'm really finding it hard to market this as well as this, and readers seem confused. So I was, in an author group. I was talking to multiple author friends who had been in the business much longer than me, and they, basically explained to me how important it was to have a specific brand and be like, what are you known for? And I was like, I don't fucking know. Like, I'm just known for writing books. I write books. That's it. This is the thing that I do. And they're like, no, but you need to be like, you kind of need to be known for something. Like, for example, what is Katie Robert known for? She's known for, breaking out of the box and doing like really smutty, but like really good, like scenes and characters and things like that. And she's really known for her really good characterization, for her good smut scenes, but for her smut scenes to make sense in the plot that she writes. So she's really well known for that. So it wasn't until I, wrote the Sick Boy series that I realized what I focused on. And it really was somebody else pointed out to me that every single book I wrote had these certain things in it. And I was like, oh, great. Now I'm going to take what you've told me and make that a brand. But about my second year, I was publishing with a friend at the time, a co-written work series that was really high fantasy. And we did the first two, and Lucy Smoke was on it. And it was really hard to market. And it was like, people are not picking it up because they don't think Lucy Smoke and they don't think, fantasy. So I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a new pen name. And so that's when I separated my pen name, Lucinda Dark for fantasy, Lucy Smoke for dark romance. And then I basically redid all of my covers that were fantasy into Lucinda Dark. My debut series is no longer live because it was a debut series and it sucked. So it's getting re-edited. I may publish it again. No promises though, because it was garbage.
That's a fun project. That's fun.
I just hate editing. That's my only problem with a fiery passion. So but when I separated that out and I had the Lucinda Dark pen name and the Lucy Smoke pen name, I started noticing, there was an uptick in sales. There was an uptick in people following. And I asked why. I was like, why are you guys like, what is it about these pen names? And they're like, well, I know what I'm getting now. So instead of Lucy Smoke, I'm getting like fantasy and dystopian and spicy romance and slow burn romance and contemporary and sports. And so it was too much for them for a lot of readers to like really like, what am I getting when I'm picking up a Lucy Smoke book? And I was like, okay, cool. So now they know at the very least, Lucinda Dark, they're getting fantasy romance. Lucy Smoke, they're getting dark romance in some way, shape, or form. And it's going to be contemporary. So that was like the original brand idea. And that was the original why I separated it. And I did see an uptick in sales and I did see an uptick in people following. And it was much easier for them to grasp like what you do if it's all under one pen name. I will say I am super lazy. So I don't have a separate account pretty much for any of my.
I was going to ask, do you have to manage 2 Instagrams because of it?
No, absolutely not.
No.
I'm too lazy to do that. There's too much. There are only 24 hours in a day, girl, and at least 7 of those need to be for sleep. So I say at least 7, but that's not exactly true. But yeah, no, I'm too lazy. I do put it on it is on my Facebook page. It's on my every bio I write. It's like Lucy Smoke, also known as Lucinda Dark for Fantasy Works, and then continues on, or Lucinda Dark, also known as Lucy Smoke. So it's on everything. It's on my website, and I only have one website. It's lucysmoke.com because that is my primary like pen name. It's on my Instagram account. It says both pen names. Do people still come up to me and they're like, I had no idea? And I was like, I don't know how, but some people don't know. However, I I don't think there's really an excuse anymore because I've taken to putting it on covers of Lucinda Dark now, where it says Lucy Smoke writing as Lucinda Dark. I don't think a lot of people realize that so many authors actually have second pen names. J.R. Ward has a second pen name. Anne Rice has like one or two. J.K. Rowling, I don't really read her for other reasons, but she has multiple pen names as well. And so there's a lot of really, really popular or big name authors that a lot of people don't recognize that they have multiple pen names. So,
for sure.
hopefully it continues to work out for me though.
Yeah.
But before the next question continues, side question: what do you think about the conspiracy with the whole Silver Elite thing and the pen name, and if it's who do you think's writing behind? Do you know anything about it, or not? Do you know?
About? What's this conspiracy theory?
Well, with Silver Elite, it's a fantasy book. It's kind of like a Hunger Games world setting.
Kind of like Hunger Games, but I didn't know there was any sort of conspiracy theory with it.
And so, go ahead. You want to take it away, Carrie?
So when the book was first released, or when it was first being marketed, they had announced that it was going to be by some major author. It was supposed to be this really hyped release, and it was supposed to be from this major author. And then, so everybody was super hyped for it. They couldn't wait to find out who the author was, because they had liked what the description they had dropped and everything like that. And then as it got closer and closer to release, they finally released everything and the author's name, and now everybody's like, that person, like, Danny Francis.
Who is Danny Francis?
Yeah, who is Danny Francis? They have not written anything else. They essentially do not exist in the literary world. No
pictures, no live interviews.
Interesting.
So it's just one of those fun little things that the book community likes to speculate. Who is?
They ran away with it, yeah. So there's just a ton of fun theories out there. So I was just curious what you thought.
I have no idea about any of this. So none. I love conspiracy theories.
It's a rabbit hole. You could dive into it.
I'm gonna.
Some people are saying
go back and research it.
Yeah, some people are saying it's the first book completely done by AI. Some people are saying that it's a well-known author who's trying something new.
Okay, Lucy, so who were some of your most inspirational authors when you first started writing, and then who are some of them now, in addition to who you've already said?
There is one specific author that, like, was the catalyst for me becoming an indie published author. Jex Lane. I don't know if you've heard of her, but she's only got a couple of books out. She's a slower writer, but her books are so good. I hadn't published yet. I was in between my undergrad. I had just graduated from undergrad university, and then I had a year between that I was waiting to get accepted for a master's program. And in that year, I got like her debut book, which was I think like Sire or something like that. I know the series. The series is Beautiful Monsters. And it was not my genre at all. Like, it was not my thing. It's bisexual romance. Like, the main character is a man, but he does have he has like relations with like men and women. I will say though that I think his most romantic relationships are with some men, and he was older. Like, he's like in his 30s or 40s. Like, he was much, much older. I was 22 at the time. And even now, I'm like, I like reading about characters that are my age, that are women, because I'm a woman and I do identify as a woman, and I want to put myself in the main character, I want to be the main character. So that's why I like to read like people my age or a little bit younger, and I'm fine with that. Because I also still feel like I'm 22, even though I'm 30. I definitely act like I'm, 13 and a boy, regardless. I read it and it was so good. Like, it was just like from the get-go, I was like, this is not normally something I'd be really into. And her writing style, like, everything just really pulled me in it. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And she posted her story, where she used to work for a video game company with her and her husband. They were, barely surviving in California. California is hella expensive. And she, said like she had some sort of surgery where she was kind of like out of work and in the hospital for like quite a while. And during her stay in the hospital, she had like a dream about this guy, and she's like, I haven't done this, and I've always wanted to write a book, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna write a book and I'm gonna publish it. And she did, and it was fantastic. It did really well, and her next books did really well. I ended up publishing a little bit later. I told her that she was kind of like my inspiration. We became friends. She's still amazing. I alpha read for her third book in the series, and that bitch made me cry. I do not have tear ducts. According to anybody who asks, I do not have tear ducts. I do not cry. That bitch made me cry. And I was like, how dare you? So
she found the one single duct that you have.
Oh my gosh. It was like, I was like, I cannot believe you would do this to me. So she was my inspiration, and she was the catalyst that started me into publishing.
Love that.
Like, basically like if she can do it, so can I. And she was like, yes, you fucking can. And I was like,
absolutely.
I believe you. I don't know you, stranger, at the time, but I believe you. So
That's
she
great.
was like a really big inspiration.
I think we all have a story to tell deep inside, whether or not anyone believes in themselves enough to write it or has enough gusto to put it all out there on paper and all that. Well, I will say that talking to so many authors has just been so rewarding because everyone has such passion for their voice and the things that they have to share. It's been a lot of fun just knowing that, we're all just here trying to make the best out of everything, and I appreciate it. How has your writing evolved over time?
Better, 100%. It was awful in the beginning. I don't even like to go back and look at my debut series. Like, I'm terrified. I don't want to edit that. That's why I said no promises to it being published again, because I'm just like, let's just forget that existed.
You could reinvigorate a new life into it, and it could be the best thing you ever wrote.
I don't know about that. I'm more of a move forward kind of gal. But sure. I will say, like, I still appreciate it. Because if I hadn't written that series, if I hadn't published it, it wouldn't have started my journey otherwise. So, like, I do appreciate it. I'm glad that I did it. But, I mean, like, and I don't know if Stephen King said this or Ernest Hemingway, I can't remember. But a big author at some point said, you're always going to hate your first book. You're always going to hate it because you're going to get better. With every single book you write, you're going to get better. I write fairly cleanly, but I use editors out the wazoo. I have a developmental editor, line editor, a proofreader. I have alpha readers. My system and my process has gotten longer. In the beginning, I didn't really have a whole lot of money because I was a broke back college student. Okay, like your girl was not making money. Okay, she was surviving, and it was rough out there. So I had like a line editor, and the first editor I got was really terrible, but the second editor I got, she was fantastic, and she was with me for like pretty much up until this year. She unfortunately passed away earlier this year, very suddenly, and very unexpectedly. She was amazing, and she'd been with me for so long. It was like a friendship. Like, even though it was like a business professional relationship, like, she'd been with me for so long. Like, I was like, she really helped me grow. And honestly, like, I've dedicated a couple of books to her because she was so amazing. Like, she's just been she was a great, great help to like making me a better writer. And it was definitely one of those relationships / people that when she said, hey, you're being a dumb bitch, I listened. I listened to her. And I do have that relationship now with my developmental editor as well, where she's like, get your fucking shit together. And I'm glad
you were able to find someone new to kind of fill that void.
No, it's my developmental editor. She's not new. I have found a new line editor, but it takes time to kind of build that kind of relationship. So hopefully I will build that relationship again. But like my previous editor will always be like kind of like in my heart, in my mind, and I'm always gonna like associate at least some of my success to her effect in my life. And I still think about her all the time. So
go back to the very first time when you actually sat down to try to write. And what was that? How did you get over that hurdle to get words out? Right? Because there's things swirling around, there's thoughts, there's ideas, there's inspiration, but how do you get it out? How do you start the first lines?
I don't have a problem sitting. Like when you say go back to that first time, I don't even remember what the first time was.
Okay.
That I lost somewhere in my childhood. We have no idea where it is. There was like a house fire too when I was in middle school. The hardest part was just finishing. It wasn't starting. I can start so many books. I have so many ideas. I've started so many books that nobody even knows how many books I've started. Not even my editor, because I'm pretty sure she would yell at me. It's finishing that's the hard part for me. I can finish up to like 70 to 80% of that book. No problem, no pressure. But I need that last like 20% to need pressure. I need hardcore pressure and consequences if I don't finish it.
What inspires some of your really dark romance themes?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I don't know if I'm legally allowed to say. No, it's fine. I've never been arrested yet. I think I would do great in jail though. I just want to say I think I would do amazing in jail. I'm cute, I'm funny, I'm bisexual. I would find myself a protector. I'd be fine.
You would. You would be a catch.
Thank you. I would have so many friends.
By the way, my nails match your hair, and I'm living for it.
Gosh, those are so cute. Those are beautiful. I like those. You have like the little stiletto, like little claw tip. I love a good claw tip. It makes me feel like a badass. I mean, I don't have my nails done. I never get my nails done. I don't like people touching my hands, weirdly. But to answer your question, It's a little combination of my psychotic brain just like going off the way it wants, because I have ADHD, and so I play this game with myself. My grandmother and I are very close together. I call her The Rock. She had the name before Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Okay, so she gets it first. She had it first.
Got it.
And I play this game that she hates. It's called the What If game. And I will quite literally, I'm like, what if I was kidnapped by a biker gang and they wanted to ransom me back to the family, but you guys don't have the money to pay for me, so I pay for it with my ass. And she was like, why? We are driving to Walmart, Lucy. Please, for the love of God. She hates the game. And she tries to make fun of it. She's like, what if the sky was purple? And I was like, that's a good question. What if the sky was purple? Yeah. Why is it purple? Are we all dead if it's purple? Is it the zombie apocalypse? She's like, I'm not doing this with you. So I love that game. She hates it.
You're a storyteller at heart.
Yeah. But also I'm a little bit of a petty bitch. Hardcore petty bitch. So if anybody's mean to me, and I will put them in a book, and I will make them the villain, and I will kill them, and I will do horrible things to them. Because I will never do it in person, because they don't deserve me to touch them. Also, I'm not going to jail for them. They are not worth me going to jail. Okay, that's worth something else, but they are not worth it. So of course it has to be dark romance if I'm gonna kill people. If I'm gonna do it really awfully too, if I'm gonna make it bad. But I also almost like telling stories too. I hate this a little bit because I really like promoting female friendships in books, but at the same time, there are some toxic female friendships. So sometimes I'll have a main character who has one really, really good friend where it's the close bond, best friends, ride or die. And then there's this other friend that seems really nice, seems really awesome, but as you go throughout the book and as you go throughout the series, it becomes more and more obvious that it's either a toxic relationship and or she's the villain. I love women. I like female villains too. Men are villains all the time in real life, so I want to see women in men's roles, okay?
All right. A couple of your quotes are as follows. Sleep is for the weak and the dead. Unfortunately, I am neither, and I'm about to make it everyone's problem. Me to my roommate. I'm on my period, and my period craves something that will hurt me later. I know it wants a man, but honestly, McDonald's is cheaper. How do you come up with these gems? Give us some insight into Lucy when she isn't writing.
I don't know if you can tell, my face is super warped. I cannot believe that you went through my social media and found those quotes. Those were not from books. I write a lot of found family because I have my own found family. I do have blood family and biological family, but I have a really good group of best friends. We've been best friends for over 10 years.
That's awesome.
And so I know a lot of women in their 20s, after college or in their 30s, struggle with friendships that are close, and we are so close as we are literally a family. We've talked about building a compound together. I don't know if we'll ever do it, but we go on family vacations a couple of times a year. We'll just rent an Airbnb and we'll go for the weekend, and all we do is get absolutely trashed and play games and sit by a fire and chat and catch up, because life is hard. One of us has a kid, all of us have jobs, we don't see each other really regularly, so we do that. And so one of the games is Who Said It, and so we all keep a quote book on our phones, where if we're just chatting with one another, or just out and about whenever, and because we all say stupid shit that's hilarious, but out of context, it makes absolutely no fucking sense. And so we have, each of us has a quote book on our phone, and say my roommate will say something absolutely unhinged. I'm like, oh, that's a quote book quote. I'll put it in my phone. And then the next time we have our family trip, as we're all drinking, I pull up my quote book and I'm like, okay, who said it? And we all guess who's the one who said it. That's just me on a daily basis. I have no
That is
filter.
so much fun.
And I am the same person in real life as I am online. There is no difference. I don't know how to be a different person. It just is what it is. I can't even be professional. It's bad.
The real you. I love it.
Yeah, we love it.
So, other than smiting people, how do your characters typically come to you? And then what have been your favorite scenes to write? So we'll say both spicy and some non-spicy, but we like the spicy.
That's a good question. I will say that, all of my books and or storylines come to me like well before they're published. Like we're talking like a good year to 2 years before they're published. And usually very inconveniently in the middle of me writing a different series. So it's like me finishing a series and them in the back of my mind going, hey, what about me? I miss you. And I have plans and I have things that I'm doing and you should think about this. So it's very annoying, very inconvenient. So by the time, like, so, and it's just like, all my stories also they come with the character voice, not the character person, like the personality, not all their background, not information. Like I have to come up with that later. It's just like a, kind of like a tone of voice in the back of my head. I am not schizophrenic. I have been tested. It's just a creative thing, I think. And then
it's also a common thing for a lot of authors. It's a very, very, very common thing.
No, really, it is. Yeah.
So you're not crazy.
Good. I'm glad to know I'm not alone. So it's it's always one scene starts, and that scene could be anywhere in the series. It's not necessarily in the first book. It's not necessarily in the last book. It's just a random fucking scene. And that scene, basically, from that scene, I'm like, okay, I need to figure out if I need
how we got here.
And after that.
How did we get here? Where are we going?
Like, how did we get here? This is a lot going on over here. I will say, so for example, my Barbie the Vampire Hunter series, I say it's kind of modeled off Buffy, but I've never seen the Buffy TV show. I really want to. It looks really good. I've just never been, like, I've seen clips. I've not seen the whole thing. But I've seen the movie, the old movie that came before the show. And it's so good. And that's who I modeled my Barbie after, because I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, what if, and I'm stupid because I did not realize that Barbie was a nickname for Barbara.
Barbie.
Took me 20-something years to figure that out. And then I figured it out, and I was like, what if there was a vampire hunter named Barbie? And then I made one. And the scene idea came to me. There's a scene in, I think it's either in book 1 or book 2, and she's in a house with a man, and she's coming down the stairs. Somebody rings the doorbell. And he goes to open it, and she yells at him to not open the door because it's a vampire on the other side. So he opens the door, and she's screaming no. And of course, the vampire takes control of him and makes him invite her inside. And as soon as she's inside, she attacks them. And I'm like, okay, cool. And like, so in my mind, I'm like, what? How did we get here? How did she know it was a vampire? Who is the guy? What is their relationship? And so like that I had to figure out by myself. That's the only thing I got. That's it. Like they didn't give me any information. It was just that scene. And that's how it happens with all of my books. So.
It must be really cathartic, though, to kind of weave in some of the internal struggles you have and maybe, process some things through your writing. It's got to be a huge, major outlet, really great for mental health, I'm sure.
Therapy is expensive. This is my therapy.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
It is really cathartic. I mean, like, it's really nice because I can take a lot of, like, my own emotions and anger and, like, keep in mind, like, I don't really have a whole lot of people I'm angry with. Like, it's petty things, like the Amazon rep that was mean to me on the phone or mean to my friend on the phone or my neighbor who's kind of a dick, like, or, like things like that. Those are like, I don't really have people that I hate. I don't withhold it and keep the hate inside. I kind of just let a lot of things go, but this is how I let it go. It's like, okay, you pissed me off one time. I'm going to put you in a book and I'm going to kill you and then it's over. That's it. That's it. And honestly, I've actually run out of people multiple times. I have gone to my reader group now and I have like a petty princess post. I'm like, who do you not like? I need ideas.
I was listening to Brendan Weaver. Actually, she mentioned something very similar where some guy pissed her off online and he was being kind of stalkerish on her X or Twitter account. And she's like, okay, all right. And so she wrote him into her book and just totally had her fun.
For her.
She got her revenge. I know.
It's so therapeutic. Yeah. It is therapeutic.
It's the legal way to go about it, for sure.
Yep. I haven't touched him. I just really fucked him up in a book, fictionally, in my head, and then on paper. And now everybody knows.
So great. As we've already discussed, many of your stories have dark themes and are chock full of trigger warnings. What advice would you give to readers who might be considering exploring these types of stories?
That's a good question, too. Oh my goodness, that is a great question.
She's like, that's a good question that I'm not going to answer.
I will say, if there's a reader out there that has their own triggers or something like that, I would highly recommend going to my website and seeing what the tropes are, if it's dark romance. Also, At the end of all of my blurbs, I put like here's the trigger warning. Like, here are the things, these are the things that are common in dark romance, and these are potentially things that are going to be in the book. If these make you upset, if they hurt you, I am not in the business. It is not my desire to make anybody uncomfortable. It is not my desire to like upset someone, to give them nightmares, to hurt them, to like make them have flashbacks or anything like that. So it is important. But the thing is, there are 7 billion people in the world. Okay. Everybody's going to have a different trigger. I have very specific triggers myself, very specific, that it is not possible for any author to actually guess my triggers. So I will say, with that in mind, if there have been common things, like say, like sexual assault, those are common in dark romance. Always have like a good book buddy or a friend, like either skim it, go through it, read it first, and then they can, because they'll know you more than I will. They're going to know the reader better than the author will. And so they'll know more so than I ever would if you can handle something like that. Because
that's
it's
sweet advice.
Yes, absolutely. Always have like a friend that like is a good reader for you. And if it's things that like, that's common in dark romance, but if it's not common and it's a specific trope like what I have, still have a friend to go through and read it. Someone who doesn't have as many triggers, someone who's like much more open, who doesn't have like those particular like those barriers. Definitely have like a book friend go through it first. Also, you can totally ask me, like when you ask me like which of my books were lighter and things like that. I have a lot of readers come up to me and they're like, where should I start? And I have so many questions because I can't just pick up one book and be like, you should start here. I have questions like, what do you like? Are you a mood reader? Do you only like fantasy? Do you only like dark romance? Do you like lighter stuff? Do you like sports? Do you like wide shoes? Do you like MF? Do you like Monopoly? I have questions. I have questions for everything. So I want to give you something that I think you're really going to like. Not just hey, this is my most popular thing, here you go. No, I want to pick something handpicked for you specifically.
I love when authors make themselves available for the audience and the fans that are going to be potentially reading their books or do read their books. That's just a whole nother level of it all, and it really makes community even tighter when authors are engaging.
Oh, for sure. I love the community.
Okay, so speaking of community, you recently asked your followers who their favorite sick boy couple is. However, you didn't comment on your own. So share some insight into the fan consensus and your personal favorite.
So I asked that question specifically because this year marks the 5-year anniversary of the Sick Boys.
Yeah.
And I'm doing something really special. I'm doing a Kickstarter. My very first one. I've never done Kickstarter, so cue the fucking internal panic. It's the entire series. So it's all 7 books plus the prequel. We're calling them the Dark Vault editions.
Sick boys, not sick boys.
I'm also releasing some bonus content that I've never released before. I've told people this before, that I really struggled in the first book, like writing that first scene. So I actually rewrote the beginning of the book like 20 plus times. So I'm going to release some of the very first original scene ideas for the opening of the series. I'm also going to release some deleted scenes, some sex scenes that never made it into the book, things like that. And these are extra bonus content and stuff like that for the Kickstarter. If you saw the post, like some of the Safe for Work couples have been made into covers, and I have new ones that have also like not been revealed or released that are also being made into covers, especially for Avalon and Dean. And then I've got 2 new ones for Braxton and Clover. I wasn't planning on 2 for Braxton and Clover. I just needed 1, and I went to my artist and I was like, hey, I need 1, but I have these 2 ideas. Can you do a mock-up and I'll see which one I like the best? And then I was like, I like both.
Why choose?
I'll do. Thank you. So she's fantastic. She does a great job. She's not from the US, but she like is so good at her job. Like I don't ever want to stop using her. She's fantastic. And I just love the art style too. It's hard to say. I will say, I think each couple is like really different to me. Avalon and Dean as like the beginner, those are the opening ones, that was the one that everybody fell in love with, so they're always going to hold a special place in my heart. And I think that I feel a kinship with Avalon a lot, so much so that like she had problems like with her mother, and I don't have a great relationship with the woman who raised me. She wasn't my bio mom, but she was the woman who raised me. And I don't really have a great relationship with her. I don't speak to her anymore. We're like no contact. It was like no contact before I even knew no contact was a thing. So Avalon, a lot of her issues come straight from me. Okay, so like she has a special place in my heart. But I will say that I do love the Crazy Boys, and Braxton is like a special boy to me. And kind of teased Mickey's story for so long Like, I teased it from book 1, and she's like the very end. And so it's really hard. I'd say like specific characters from each couple are like the ones that I relate to the most.
Set the scene for us for your writing process. What is your favorite writing environment, and what are some must-have items in your space?
That's a good question. So my preferred writing environment would be this room. This is my office. I'm actually in my beanbag chair. I don't write in this. I'm too old to do that. Writing for so long, I have developed like some issues in my forearms and my wrists and my fingers. So I have to wear like a compression sleeve like that. It's not my whole arm, but it's like it covers like half of my forearm over my elbow. And it like tightens because I get a lot of pain in my forearm. So like I definitely like have to wear that. So that's like a must have, mostly because of the pain. And then I have really poor circulation, so my hands are always freezing. So I have gloves. Even in the middle of summer, like I live in South Carolina, the heat index, if you live in Florida, you fucking know, it is awful. The heat index is terrible. So like, but even in this middle of the summer, I'm wearing like fingerless gloves, like typing on my little like screen.
Yeah, I feel the pain. My fingers are freezing too. My toes also, actually. I think my toes suffer more than my fingers do.
I always have to wear socks. I wear fuzzy socks in the summer, and people look at me like I'm fucking crazy, and I'm like, you have no idea.
Love that.
Fuzzy sock gearing.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah, I know that pain a lot. I would hold a camera like this for so long.
Not
so
great.
I'm always doing these stretches here. Gotta do your stretches.
I have to go to a chiropractor, and I go to a massage therapist. I used to go once a month, but now I'm having to go like multiple times.
Lucy, you just got back from Babe in Australia. That is like number 1 on my bucket list of places to go. Were there any unforgettable moments that you'd like to share from that experience?
Yeah, actually. So, number 1, it is not my first time. That was like my 4th or 5th time going to Australia. I love it. I would move there. It's amazing. I love Sydney. When Sydney last hosted, and it was much bigger. It was beautiful. It was fun. Like, they have these great grand like art and photo op areas, and they have massive like literally like person size book like for you to take pictures with. They have like a dragon, light up trees. They had breaks, and in the middle of the breaks they had shows. So they had an aerial dancer. They had a male and then they had a male and a female together. And then they also had like I don't know, she's kind of like a dancer, but I'm not sure what her title would be, but she did some dancing, but then she did like fire breathing.
Super cool performer.
Cool. Really cool. Plus, I mean, just like I love getting to go see readers that I would never otherwise be able to see, because we're on the opposite side of the world from them, especially on the East Coast of the United States. So it was fantastic, wonderful. I loved seeing all of the authors that are in Australia that I don't get to see that I'm really good friends with. Tate's amazing. She does a really great job. Her entire team is amazing. So it's Jamin. And then Harley Madison is a friend of mine, and she just recently kind of like revamped her entire like book history. Like, she was Anita Maxwell. She was publishing when I started like 8 years ago, and she was really struggling. So she actually took a couple years off and decided to come back and redo a new pen name and really focus on something that she really liked, which is BDSM romance or taboo and forbidden romance. And so she really focused on that, and she's skyrocketed, has just like blown up, like literally published 2 books under their new pen name, and they've blown up on TikTok, and she's done amazing. And I was able to see her again after multiple years, and I am just so happy and so proud of her. It was like, that's like unforgettable, is being able to see the readers, being able to see the other authors that I haven't seen in such a long time, and seeing how successful they've become since the last time I saw them in person. And I'm just blown away every single time by how amazing they are.
So we're going to move into a game that Carrie is going to run for you, and it's This or That, author edition. Nothing is written in stone. It's just for fun. If you don't want to answer, just skip it and take it away.
Right. 3 a.m. writing frenzy or writing with a schedule?
3 a.m. writing frenzy. I mean, I write with a schedule now, but I am definitely that 3 a.m. writing frenzy kind of person.
E-read or physical read?
Right now, e-reader. I go through a feast or famine phase. Like, sometimes like I only want to read ebook, and sometimes I only want to do physical books. It's like a feast or famine.
Plotter with murder boards or pantser possessed by the void?
Pantser. I do not plot. I mean, I tried. It doesn't work. I just take over. It's not me. I am just the conduit. I am the car, not the driver.
Bloodstained sprayed edges or graphic and spicy audio?
Toughie.
Both? It's both? We'll
have
both.
Okay, we'll take both. All right. Pen or keyboard?
Keyboard.
Keyboard. Stuff Kindle or personal library?
It's that both again.
Well,
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that library.
both,
Yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
not even
Yeah.
half of it. Like, it's so much more.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
wow. That's amazing.
I have
Yeah.
a lot of books.
Okay, I would like a tour, please.
Yes, yes, yep.
Damn.
Writing collab or writing alone?
I have a lot of co-authors, and they're fantastic. Maybe writing alone, but only because of the editing.
Yeah.
Editing
Mhm,
stuff.
mhm.
Especially when it's co-authored. But I love writing with
Yeah.
others. I just hate editing with others. And I hate editing so much. I would rather throw myself into oncoming traffic than edit for days on end.
Character driven or plot driven?
Both? I don't know.
Both.
That's hard. I feel like I
Sounds-
have really heavy plots, but I also have like really important
Really
characters.
profound
so it-
characters,
Mhm.
yeah.
I have no preference for reading though. I'll read both.
Fairy War or Mafia Attack?
Mafia Attack.
Mafia.
I was second, but you know what? I think I would go for Mafia Attack.
For the dark romance readers that want bruised hearts and bite marks, stories where the line between love and chaos gets seriously blurred, Lucy's books are calling your name. And lastly, Lucy, what's next for you? Can you give us any teasers for your next release?
Could try. So I'm just the Scorpion King series, which is the newest series in the Sick Boys universe. It is a why choose dark romance, enemies to lovers, fallen princess, bad boys, criminal, little bit of a murder mystery, little bit of a other mystery, missing parents, things like that. Very badass, feral but feminine female main character. Book 3 is releasing tomorrow on August 1st. So yes, I'm so excited. Also nervous, but that is releasing tomorrow, and I am very excited to see how readers will take it because it does have a pretty steep cliffhanger. And then book 4
Okay.
is coming out before the end of the year, which is the final book in the series. However, I have a trad release coming out next year. It is finished. It is written. We have just finished like final edits on it. I don't know why trad's a little different, so they do take a little bit longer to publish things. I assume it's because of like marketing and things like that, and also getting narrators for the audiobook because they need to make sure that everything goes out at the same time. So that new series / book is it can be read as a standalone. There will be a second book to it. We are contracted for 2 books, but both will be like 2 different couples. That is a mafia, forced marriage, dark romantic comedy. So I don't think I'm that
Okay.
funny. But
That
my
sounds great.
agent
I
had a
can't-
thought, and she was like, I think you're fucking hilarious. And I was like,
Aw.
I think I'm just mean and you think I'm joking, but okay.
Oh,
So I wrote this book at her behest and at her prompting and at her threats, because she did threaten my life. She's like, if you don't write it, I will find you and I will tie you up in my basement. So I was like, okay, I'll just, I don't want to be tied up in a basement unless there's a hot man there, and you're not a hot man, so that's not going to work out for me. So I wrote it to prove her wrong. I was like, I'm not that funny, but I'm going to not take my medication and I'm going to go on an ADHD binge and just
Love
write
it.
this book straight through, no plotting, no planning, nothing. And I did, and she sold it, and now it's going to be released on a trade deal.
It's amazing.
That is so amazing.
It's basically what would happen if I, with my ADHD, completely unhinged, like no planning whatsoever, were to be a waitress at a mafia wedding and walk in on the bride being murdered. But the
fun.
groom still has to get married that day. So
Okay.
suddenly,
Okay.
she's the new bride. It's either till death do us literally part, and it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
So
I hope
exciting.
that people like it and find it funny. It's definitely a lot of like neurodivergent talking to yourself in the middle of like really important, probably really dangerous situations. It's different from a lot of so right now the 2 major like dark romantic comedies that are out are Lights Out, or that series Into
Yeah.
the Darkness series by Navessa Allen. Highly recommend. Fucking amazing. I have not read
Yeah.
book 2. I'm a little
It
scared
is
too.
same.
Book
Same.
Chef's kiss.
Yep.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Okay. Literally
Absolutely.
kicking, squealing. Love it so much.
Yes,
And then of course
yes.
the Butcher and Blackbird series, or the
Yes.
Ruinous Love trilogy by
Yep.
Bryn Weaver, which is also fantastic. Serial killers
Amazing.
and stalkers. This is a dark romantic comedy, but it is not serial killers or stalkers. It is mafia.
Mafia.
So it's
Mhm.
different, but still a dark romantic comedy. So that is being released next April. It was originally in January, but they have pushed it back to April. I don't know when ARCs are going to go out, but I'm sure they're going to go out actually a couple months in advance of that. So that's coming out next year. It's going to be really good. Hopefully everybody else thinks so. The cover has been revealed. The blurb has been revealed. And I will, of course, probably see if I can start like releasing teasers because I'm ready to.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Wow. And that's going to be under Lucy Smoke, correct?
Yes, that is going to be under
Okay.
Lucy Smoke.
Got it. Yay, that's so exciting. I'm so happy for you. Thank you for sharing all of that fun information.
No, thank you. It's not going to be that dark, so you can actually read it if you have like issues with like trigger warnings and things like that. But it will have murder, maybe, and dead bodies for
No,
sure.
it sounds like a great time.
I wrote the book in like a month because I really wanted to read the dark rom-coms. So I was like, I'm not going to read them until I'm done with this book. That way, nobody can say shit. And then I read it, and I was like, fuck, it's so good! So, no regrets. It is what it is. I'm happy either way.
Awesome.
I'm so happy for you. That's awesome.
I'll probably ruin it at some point. I'll probably get put on TV and then say something really stupid, and they're like, oh my god, this bitch is crazy. We'll see how it goes.
All right, Lucy, thank you so much for chatting with us today. Thank you all for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Coming up next on Sunshine Ladies Unraveling Tales, we are interviewing author Kaylee Smith. We'll see you all in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.